Welcome back, traders. My name is Chris, and today's recap of the NASDAQ 100 futures is going to be amazing. Now, today's session is a little bit special because one of our viewers asked, how do CYMO Pro and ScalpMO perform on a 15-minute chart? And I said, well, ask and you shall receive. So today we're going to showcase that exact setup with both CYMO Pro and ScalpMO on a 15-minute chart and run the entire session from the market open all the way through the close. Okay, so that's going to be great. Now, before we dive into this bad boy, let's start with the macro. The markets opened big time in the red today after the Trump tariffs officially kicked in. And just like that, we saw a sharp sell-off right out of the gate. And for those of you who are following our daily briefing bot over on our Discord channel, you already knew that it said, expect the market to trend. And that's exactly what happened this morning. The market trended right out of the gate. The bot nailed it again. That initial downward pressure, CYMO Pro caught the structure shifts in real time, and ScalpMO picked up the shorter bursts within that move before the market transition into a cyclic range territory post 10:30 in the morning. Okay, now we won't pull up the bot in this stream, but if you're curious, you can scroll over to the briefings channel in our Discord and check that out for yourself. Okay, that's a tool that's absolutely free, and it's also free to join our Discord. And you're welcome to be a part of our community there. Right. So without any further delay, guys. All right, I know you guys want to see the meat on the bones on these bad boys. We're going to go ahead and get started, right? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bingo. I'm playing this bad boy at 30 times the speed of the market. Otherwise, we'll be here the entire day. Now, this was the sell-off this morning right here. Look at that. That bad boy was really super aggressive the way it came down. It was just, the market just globally dumped right there, okay? So we'll see how this ends up shaking out in this session. And right now, obviously, it's the first bar of the day. This bar would close at 9:45 Eastern. All right, so this is the opening bar of the day right here. All right, so okay, now we've got price. It came all the way down here at the bottom. You know, when it's down here, it's likely to do what?
Order filled.
Okay. It is likely to potentially reverse on you, okay? So you got to be very careful with these type of trades right here. And I went ahead and took a trade to the downside because I see both momentum and cycle pointing down. I see both the acceleration and the wave line all the way down here, okay? And this type of trade on a 15-minute chart, it's a lot easier to take than it is on a shorter time frame because a shorter time frame moves a lot faster. So you wouldn't be taking this trade right here, but let me show you exactly how this played out over here, okay? And I'll show you exactly where the trade would have been taken off if you would have jumped in on the second bar. If you really were a cowboy and had it in you and your risk parameters were dialed in, you probably would have taken this trade to the downside, and I'll show you exactly where you would have pulled the trigger to get out of this this morning, okay? So watch carefully. You're looking at the purple line right here, okay? When the purple line crosses above the, when it crosses above the zero line, the trade is technically over, and you can also wait until the inflection point actually hits the bottom threshold right here. So this technically right here could have been your exit. But notice one thing, guys, the cycle component of this downward swing isn't yet over, okay? You've got cycle falling, momentum falling, really steep right here, okay? If you wanted to wait, okay, and these are just two different perspectives, okay? If you wanted to wait until cycle and momentum kiss goodbye, and they will pretty soon when they cross, okay? That would have been fair game for you to get out of the trade, okay? You probably would have picked up a few extra points if you would have waited for these two bad boys to, kiss goodbye. Also, when the cyan line actually touches the bottom of this threshold right there, it is for sure game over. If it touches here and this bad boy right here, these two right here kiss goodbye. So let's see how that plays out and if it holds any water, okay? So we're almost there at that point of inflection. There we go. A 2-contract trade right there, guys, would have been worth a little bit over $8,000 this morning here to the downside. Now, here are your entry and exit points to this trade, okay? Entry was right there, okay? You jumped in at the second bar, and of course, you know, you'd really have to be a cowboy to do this, you know, and really have your risk parameters dialed in to take this trade on a 15-minute chart. Okay, but again, one of my subscribers said, I want to see how this works out on a 15-minute chart. Please show CYMO and ScalpMO, and that's exactly what we're doing right here, okay? What program are you on? This is the NinjaTrader platform right here. Okay, this is what I'm using. So let's see where our exits took place, okay? Our exits took place right here, the moment where cycle and momentum kiss goodbye. Bingo, right there, okay? You could have taken your exit as a scalper right here as well. The moment that the purple line just crossed above zero, that would have been it. You would have been done with the trade. And also the moment that you have an inflection point, which is when the blue line gets to this point, that's telling you that price is likely to flip on you. So you've got a crossing here. This is pretty close to the bottom threshold. Not a problem to go ahead and take the trade off and be done with it right there, okay?
Order filled.
Okay, so that would have been the end of it right there. Now, let's see what happens if this continues its way down or if it actually bounces and moves up. Remember, guys, whenever the blue line, the cyan line right here, hits this bottom threshold, you're at an inflection point. There's a high likelihood that price is going to reverse on you and go up. You've got the acceleration line above zero. You just had a crossing right here above zero with the cycle line as well. And you've got momentum that kind of sunk a little bit right here. So, with this going up right here and this going up, you know, if you wanted to be a cowboy right here and take this bad boy up, you could. I'd be a little hesitant maybe because momentum just dipped down right here, but I know that the trade still has give until this bad boy actually crosses down again. So
order filled.
Let's see what happens if I take a long trade right there, okay? I will go ahead and put an arrow right there signaling that cycle is actually moving up. Okay, and this is actually really good right here. This is exactly what I wanted to see right there, okay? Really, really good. I want to see momentum following cycle right there, okay? Which tells me that this is going to end up being a cycle trade and not a momentum trade where momentum just continues pulling price down. I know I've got a little bit of give right here because the purple line actually hasn't crossed below just yet. So I'll hang on to that until it does. And we'll see where that takes us to the upside. All right, so here we go, guys. You had the purple line just cross this upper threshold right here, which could be a good sign for me to potentially take this trade off. You see that right there? Okay. Now, if you're a scalper, you may want to pull the trigger and get your $1,800 right there and
order filled.
Be done with it. No problem. Okay. But your rotation to the upside right here, keep in mind, is not going to be done until cycle and momentum cross. So keep an eye on that, okay? Two type of exits depending on what you're looking at, on what lens you're looking through, okay? If you're looking more at market structure, you would take your exits right here where I've got the green arrow. If you're looking at this from a scalper's perspective, you take your exits right here where I've got this green arrow going up and where I've got the red arrow right here, just kind of coming down right there, all right? Now, again, keep in mind, guys, the market is not going to officially turn on you until you actually get cycle to actually come down. Right now, you are still in that cyclic rotation, and cycle is doing its nice little cyclic rotation right there. There is no downside yet until cycle actually comes down and crosses below the 0 line. So in this case, you'd have to be a little bit patient and wait. And there we go, guys. This is your entry to a short right there.
Order filled.
Can't be clearer and cleaner than that, all right? You've got your cycle going down right there. You've got momentum also going down, so momentum isn't shooting up. This is a much clearer cyclic rotation than the one going up. The one going up, you know, you had to wait a couple bars to get confirmation that momentum was actually moving up and it wasn't going to pull price down. Right here, you've got momentum going down and cycle going down as well, okay, which is nice. If it kinks up again like that, it doesn't matter. And since this bad boy right here is cruising along this gray box, okay, whenever it cruises along the gray box down here at the bottom, your exit is going to be whenever it hits the 0 line again, okay? And this chart will be posted on our Discord group under the Charts Recap channel for you guys to download it and compare it to any of the outdated tools that you currently have in your arsenal. All right, so here we go, guys, right there. It has not hit the 0 line yet. You've got cycle right here, which is the cyan line going down. You've got momentum going down. A lot of cyclic movement right here, guys. Look at the sine wave formations right here. You got one sine wave, another one right here, another one right here, another one in the process of development right here, guys. This is telling you that you're in a highly cyclic environment right here, which is good to see on a higher time frame 15-minute chart. This will kind of give you a more broader view of the market of what's really going on, okay? And again, this trade will be taken off the moment this purple line hits the 0 line, and it's pretty darn close right there. This trade right here on a 15-minute chart, and again, this is not for everyone, guys. You really have to have good execution to trade a 15-minute, but this is just showing the robustness of the tools on a higher time frame chart, okay? That's the whole purpose of this. Wow, that would have been $4,500, almost $5,000 right there. Not bad for one trade to the downside. Yeah, you absolutely hit the nail on the head, J Momentum. This is definitely for a self-funded cash account where you don't have to deal with prop firm rules. Absolutely. All right, guys, I'm going to take this trade off, and I'll tell you why, okay? The purple line is pretty darn close to the 0 line, but look what just happened right here, guys, okay? Right there, you had cycle come up above 0. And if the cycle rotation is done, I am done with the trade as well. That is it. The trade commenced right here, and the trade ended right here, okay? So this went from 892 all the way to 817 for an enormous gain right there, all right? And that's where I would have taken off the trade. J Momentum actually made a very good comment, actually a very good question. Is this chart more for a cash account? Absolutely it is. If you're a self-funded trader, this chart is absolute gold when trading the futures market. But if you're with a prop firm, the intrabar rotation of a 15-minute chart is such that it's likely going to stop you out, and it probably wouldn't make sense for you to trade on this type of chart. This type of chart is good to plot these tools if you want to get a good grand view of what the market is doing and where potential turns are about to happen. For example, like right here, and right here, right? And then you can go back to your 2-minute chart or 1-minute chart and execute your trades accordingly, all right? The biggest move happens, guys, right when you have the cyclic rotations right here. This is where you get the biggest moves in the swing right there, all right? You don't want to be jumping in up here because you're already late in the trade, all right? Or even right here when you're almost bottoming out. You want to jump in right when the cyclic crosses happen. And then you go back to your 1 or 2-minute chart and then you execute based off of that, and you do well. Now, this bad boy looks like it's coming back down again right here, okay? It's all the way to the top. Momentum is down right here, and you've got this bad boy coming down over here as well. Let's see if maybe we can squeeze one more trade out of this before the market closes. It's almost 3, it's 3:30 on the clock here. Let's see if this comes down below the 0 line. Right there, guys.
Order filled.
That's your entry, okay? Right there, all right? That's your entry to the downside to take that trade. Bingo, right there, okay? And since I've only got a couple minutes right here on this, which is really only maybe like 2 minutes because it's going so fast, I will begin looking for an exit pretty soon on this to get out of this trade. Maybe after this bar closes.
Order filled.
I'll clip it and I'll take like $600-700 out of it, and there you go, guys. All right, the NASDAQ 100 futures on a 15-minute time frame. What are the indicators that I'm using? The top indicator here is called CYMO Pro. It's exclusive to the NinjaTrader platform. You can grab it directly from the link in my bio, and the one down here is called ScalpMO. ScalpMO is part of the PureMO package. And it's designed specifically to help scalpers scalp short bursts in price action. So that's what both of these indicators are right here, guys. All right. So here's what's powerful about using the 15-minute chart, okay? CYMO right here gives us a broader market structure, okay? Clean rotations. Look at this. Super clean rotations right there, all right? To the upside and to the downside right here. And the reason that this trade here was entered at the top versus down here, like right here, is because whenever cycle goes all the way above the 90% threshold right there, that tells you that price is exhausted at this point, okay? Let me just put a little box right here so you can see it right there, all right? Price is exhausted at this point, guys. So you don't have to wait for the whole cycle to come down. You could take the entry right there. But if cycle hasn't gone all the way up, just like it did right there, it missed the top and comes down right here, you take the trade right here to get in for the short, all right? So you've got very clean rotations here with CYMO. Got really nice clean turns, and most importantly, a smoother view of the day's larger phases, okay? If you notice the initial sell-off over here, okay, it was marked clearly by CYMO's phase rotation right here at the 0 line when everything just went down, okay? So that's really nice to see right there, guys. And ScalpMO down here, okay, it layered right here underneath CYMO. It helped confirm the short entries and the fades, within the larger move right there. Look at this, okay? Perfectly clipped the bottom of this trade right there, okay? And as the day transitioned into a cyclic, into just a bunch of cycles right here throughout the rest of the day, post 10:30, ScalpMO down here, it dialed down the noise right here. It gave you very precise entry and exit points, whenever it got you in and out right there, okay? But CYMO's structure helped us avoid a lot of the crazy over trading that you would have done if you would have been on a lower time frame chart. Okay, guys? And that's really important right there. Okay, it guided you right here, okay, through the cyclic rotations all the way throughout the afternoon. All right, and that's what's great about this setup, is that you get the best of both worlds right here. You get trend structure, market structure, okay, and you get cyclic scalps right here, all on a higher time frame without the noise of a rapid bar to bar flickers. And this is ideal right here for traders using more of a swing intraday hybrid approach, or those working with slightly longer trade hold times. All right, if you're just going in and clipping for like 10 or 15 points, this chart is definitely not going to work for you. So you got to keep that in mind. Also, just like J Momentum said, if you're with a prop firm, this chart probably isn't going to work for you either because of the prop firm rules, and you might get stopped out with the intra-bar movement with some of these bars right here. All right, so you got to be, aware of that. So, look, most traders, guys, are glued to lower time frames. They're panicking over every tick, but sometimes the real clarity, it comes from stepping back. And with tools like CYMO and ScalpMO, you're not guessing. You're working off of clean signals, if you notice right here, okay, that reflect the rhythm of the market. And on a day like today, when the market was news-driven, and the rest of the session faded into kind of like indecision right there, okay? This is news right here. This is indecision right here, okay? This combo helped you stay on the right side of structure, avoiding traps and catching the trades that actually mattered. Now, if you've been following these recaps for a while, you've seen these tools in action, session after session, market after market in different time frames. But if you're still watching from the sidelines, it's time to move. We offer a 7-day free trial of the entire CYMO Pro suite, which includes CYMO Pro, ScalpMO, PureMO, the dynamic VWAP, and you also get 2 private one-on-one setup sessions so you can get dialed in up fast, okay? You don't have to sit there and try to figure things out yourself with no confusion and no delays. Just click the link in my bio. You guys can sign up and start testing the exact tools that have helped dozens of traders get funded, stay consistent, and stop overcomplicating their trading, guys, okay? So, my final thoughts on this today, guys, is that today's market gave us a lot to learn, not just in movement, but in how structure evolves. You saw how higher time frames today can give you more clarity, and how the right tools right here, guys, in the right hands, I should say, can transform the way you trade. So if you're ready to step out of the noise and into something structured, disciplined, and effective, you know what to do, guys, all right? Let's dive in, and you can see how it all plays out for your own account. So I'll stop there, and I'll go ahead and post this on the chart recap channel of our Discord, and I'll take any questions you guys might have.